Hey Poptropicans, Captain Crawfish here. Today I'm going to help you play through one of our most popular islands, Reality TV Island. This is also one of our featured islands of the month for the month of February, which means that if you complete this island anytime this month, you'll get bonus credits, and that's even if you've already beaten it once before. So let's get started. As most of you probably know, Reality is unlike most other Poptropica Islands. It has a bit of the storytelling and puzzle solving that you expect, but then the majority of it takes place on a TV competition show that you have to win, and that's where things really get different. So we'll get to that later, but right now we have to find a way to get onto the show. Let's head first into Mike's Market here and talk to the guy on the right side of the screen who is reading a magazine. Like everybody else on this island, he's obsessed with the competition show Reality TV Island. So he bolts, and now I can pick up this magazine. And let's take a look at it, see what we can find. The tabloid magazine tells you a few things, introduces this Bucky Lucas character who was a big star on the show. Also has the application card, which you can take out. We'll need a few more things as well. But for now, let's keep going and trying to pick up some of the other inventory items that we'll need in order to advance. It's almost impossible to get lost on Reality TV Island because there's just this one large main street scene with a bunch of buildings you can go into. One of them here is this motel, which claims to be roach-free. We can help make it roach-free by... There we go. Got him. Head over to the right. Talk to the motel owner. Not interested in a room. Two different ways to say no. Here's another item that we can pick up. This is the cheap pen. No expensive pens for us. There will be a lot more to do in the hotel later. Hotel? Motel? Let's see. Motel. There will be more to do in the motel later. Right now, you can maybe knock on some of the doors, talk to this person. So we know that Bucky Lucas is in hiding somewhere in this hotel, although we're not exactly sure where, unless you either know what you're doing, like I do, or you read the tabloid to find out the information. Head on to TV World. Here's another store we can go into. Here you can talk to everybody and learn a little bit more about the TV show and, you know, how obsessed everybody is. And there's our old friend Balloon Boy from Counterfeit Island, still floating away. We talk about maybe buying our own TV on credit, and then we can watch both Reality TV Island and the breaking Balloon Boy news, but not a great idea to borrow a ton of money for a television. However, in the course of this conversation, we do learn a little bit more about Bucky Lucas. He skipped town. He kind of burned out too bright by being the reality TV champion. Yeah, Bucky Lucas did love pizza. So if we go up here, we can change the channel and find out what the address is in order to apply to be on the show. So if you look at the tabloid, or excuse me, not the tabloid, if you look at the application card now and flip to the other side, eventually, you'll see now the address is automatically completed. And the last thing we'll need to get is a stamp. By the way, there is room for you to put the reason why you want to be on the show, and go ahead and have fun with that, but it's not actually mandatory in order to progress in the quest. Alright, so we're back at the motel office. We've heard a lot about how much Bucky likes pizza, and if you look in the magazine, you'll see a phone number for the pizza place. Let's just take a look. You see the ad here, Papa Pete's Pizza, 555 Pete. So there's a phone on the desk that you can click, and the number actually ends up being 555-7383. You're just looking for the letters of the word Pete on those numbers. When you call, they will ask for your order. You'll automatically order a pizza, and then they'll ask what room you want it to be delivered to. Truthfully, I don't remember how you figure this out. I just know it's 4B, so there you go. You're watching this for the spoilers. It's room 4B. And they work quickly because as soon as we go outside of the motel here, somebody will be waiting there with a pizza. However, their work ethic only goes so far, because now when we talk to them, they will tell us that they don't remember what room it went to, and rather than telling them what room, we'll just take the pizza from them. This is a great way to get a free pizza in real life, by the way. You don't have to do what I did in college and take it out of the trash can after the pizza place closes. Alright, knock on door 4B, and somewhat mysteriously, it opens. And there inside is the man, the myth, more cockroaches, Bucky Lucas. There he is, living in squalor. It turns out that winning on Reality TV Island actually has ruined the guy's life. So we're now asking him how we can get on the show, and he's telling us how terrible it is, and we're maybe not listening to, I was going to say the subtext. We're not really listening to the text. We just want to get on that show. We just want to win. And Bucky, forget it. Forget his wisdom. Forget that his life is a nightmare. We want to win. And in the course of talking to him, well, all right, he'll give you the last thing you need in order to apply to be on the show, and that is the stamp. Will we learn a valuable lesson when all this is over? You bet we won't. Open up the inventory, or check out Bucky Lucas's bathroom, I guess. Not even the most disgusting bathroom on Poptropica. I would say it's either the one on Cryptids or maybe the one on Shrinkray. Anyway, use the stamp. Now we have a completed application. Again, if you want to type something fun, a reason why you should be on it, go ahead. You don't have to. Once you've got the completed application, all you need to do is click on the mailbox, which is on the far right end of Main Street, and then you'll automatically see this jump ahead to the next day. You'll appear at the motel, and on the roof of the motel is, believe it or not, a helicopter ready to whisk you away to Reality TV Island. Easy enough to get started. Just jump up to the roof. You can talk to the pilot if you want to get a little bit more information, and then when you're ready to go, just click on the door of the helicopter and you'll take off. Let's talk a little bit about the competition itself and how to win. There are 14 total events. You will compete in 7 of them, drawn randomly as to what order they go into. They're all pretty quick, kind of Twitch-based mini-games. A lot of them are actually pretty difficult. If you come in first, then you automatically move on to the next round. If you don't, then there's a voting round where everybody votes for one other contestant to get kicked off. And this continues until the 7th competition when, if you're still alive, it's you against one other competitor. You have to win that one in order to win the game. It is hard. You do have to try a few times. You wouldn't believe how many times it took me in order to do this. But I'm going to show you each one of the events and give you an idea of how to win them, but you don't actually have to win them all in order to win the game. So what I'm showing you here is one way your reality playthrough could go, but unlike most walkthroughs, I can only give you an idea of how to win. And a perfect example is the first game we'll show you here is Geyser Guess. This is 100% luck. You just click on a geyser, everybody walks around, and then one of them explodes and knocks somebody out of the game. You keep doing this until only one person is left. One of the things that's interesting about Reality TV Island is that some of the games are much easier with a group, and some are much easier with just 1 or 2 other contestants. So the order in which you randomly get them will go a long way toward whether or not you actually win. Somehow, this is the one that I won with all these people. Go figure. And then you'll see that because I won this event, when we go back to the tribal round, to the voting, I've got that little floating golden head over me. That means I'm immune. That means that they can't vote for me. So I'll vote for somebody at random, and then we'll see what all these other votes are. The votes are semi-randomized as well. In the earlier rounds, you're really not going to get kicked off. It's only until you get maybe to the 4th or 5th round that if you're not winning the competitions outright, that you might start to get kicked off. But really, there's no substitute for coming in first. The next event that I'll show you is called Boulder Push, which for my money is one of the very easiest games. You just click your mouse button as fast as you can. There's no real skill involved. You just, as you see, as I'm clicking, my character is kind of easily outpacing the rest of them, so as soon as it touches the line, game over, so I won that one. Back to a voting round here. Again, no strategy. Don't worry about who to vote for, just click somebody at random. You do have to click the button to get into the voting round, as I just did. So anyway, Mary Muse, I'm calling you out. Not sure if the others will vote for her or not. I guess it kind of makes sense to vote for the person in the prison stripes. Oh, no, it is. It's going to be Mary Muse after all. Adios, Mary Muse. The next event is one of the few that I think knowing what's going to happen actually really can help you. There is some reaction time involved in this mountain race, but if you go in with a strategy, it's not too hard. There's two things that happen. One is you see these boulders rolling that you need to jump over, and then there are also boulders that kind of come bouncing, and you can duck under them if you're up front. You can get hit by them, as I just did, or if you kind of hang back, you're also going to be able to sometimes jump over them. The location of where those bouncing boulders lands is based on where the front runner in the race is going to be, so it usually aims at whoever is leading the race currently, whereas the ones rolling down the hill always go the same speed and are a lot easier to react to. So what I do is just kind of go back and forth to try to make it harder to get hit by the boulders that come bouncing in. As you see, I still do sometimes, or jump right into them. But I've built up such a lead that it's not really a big deal. I'm going back and forth, and then as soon as I see the finish line, there I am. So I've won this one as well. And again, in the specific playthrough that I'm taking this footage from, you can see that by the time we're at the end of day 6, there are so few players left. If I didn't have that idol, it would be much more likely that I would get voted off. So again, as the days go on, it becomes ever more important to make sure you win the game. If I had lost this game, I probably would have had, a 50-50 shot of getting kicked off. As it happens, in this case, I did lose, so I opted not to use the footage of that, but I just want to show you quickly what happens when you get voted off. You press that button to return home. That will load you back onto the roof on Main Street. Then just click the helicopter and you start all over. Now, unfortunately, you do start from day 1, but that's how you get back. This game is called On the Line. In this game, you click to start lowering a fish hook, and then click to bring it back up. This game is a combination of luck and skill. If you see, in that case, I didn't even have to click because it caught a fish on its own going down. Otherwise, the trick, it's not a trick, it's what you are challenged to do, is to click to make the hook come back up with such timing that it hits a fish on the way up. So what you need to do is just look for, see, I missed right there, look for a fish that you could catch on the way up and try to click so that it picks it up on the way up. Whoever catches 5 fish first wins, and this is one of the games that I find is easier to win than most. And as you can see here, there are so many people in the game that I won. It's good that I'm definitely going to go through to the next round, but also the odds, knowing both just in general how many people are here and also knowing kind of how the game is programmed, the odds were very, very low that I would have gotten voted off here. Even so, bragging rights, right? I am the best fisherman. Better than you, Director D. Pound sand, buddy. It's definitely fun how many characters, how many villains from other Poptropica Islands show up here. Really raises a lot of questions. This one is called Water Run. This is one that I'm not sure I've ever come in first place in. It doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but it is. You run to the left, stand under the waterfall until your water jug is full, then run to the right and stand under, you'll see whenever I get there, this kind of nozzle thing that you stand under it until it's empty. So you just keep going back and forth. You want to be the first one to get 100% of your water tank full, and you can see along the top everybody has a percentage under their face. The trick is if you get hit by the warthog, you will get knocked over and spill and have to go back. The warthog, I think, just runs back and forth. I think this is the kind of game that if you really could practice it a few times, you'd probably get really good at it, but it's a challenge, and you're probably better off if you get that's a terrible way to get hit by a warthog. You're luckier if you get this one earlier in the game, because one-on-one it's pretty difficult. As you can see, I'm not actually going to win it in this instance. I am going to continue to get hit by the warthog over and over and over. So learn from my mistakes, kids. But here's an example where I don't have the immunity idol, but there are still a fair amount of people left. It's between me and 4 others, so theoretically I have about a 20% chance of getting kicked off. So I'll cast my vote, and then we'll see how it all shakes out. This one comes down to the wire. Ultimately, however, it is Betty Brownie who gets eliminated, and we will move on to the next event. Up next is an event called Shuffleboard, which is one that is very, very winnable because as the player, you have a built-in advantage, which is that you go last. So the object of this game is to be the one with your puck nearest to the center of the scoring circle when the game ends. Everybody has 3 attempts to do this. So what that means is after the very last move, yours, you need to be closest to the center. And that's a huge advantage because it means, for instance, you see Chef Jeff there is already in the center, but since other people get to go, that means we can knock him right out of there. So you always have that advantage as a player, and that's why this game is pretty easy. Now what you want to do is click on your puck and then drag to change the arrow. The arrow will show the direction that you'll shoot it in, and the length of the arrow will show the power of your shot. So it's very easy to overpower when you get close, so beware of that. But you'll see here on the 3rd round, there's nobody in the middle. I just need to not mess this up, and I will easily win. So I'll just give it a little nudge toward the center. And see, that was actually too much, but I knocked another puck away, and as a result, I won. I was the closest to the center. So we'll see who we can vote off this time. Maybe Black Widow. I feel like we missed the boat by, if we were going to have all of these friendly competitions with villains, we could have increased the roster, had, I don't know who would be the Waluigi of Poptropica. Black Widow. That's a terrible joke. That's the test to see if anybody actually watches and listens to these all the way through. If anybody mentions the Black Widow joke, you won't win anything, but I'll know that you know, and I think that's important. Alright, next challenge. We're on to a game called Knockout. Here, every player that's still in the game has a plate of their own with their face under it. As the player, what we need to do is pull back on the slingshot, aim it, and try to knock out a piece of the other player's plates. So after 3 rounds, whoever has the most plate left is going to be the winner. I find this one very difficult. I find it really, really challenging to get my power right from the slingshot. So what happens in this case is that nobody ever shoots at my plate, so I kind of win by default, because I basically don't hit anything. You can, of course, adjust to whatever happened in the previous round. I think that if you got the hang of it, you probably could take out other people's plates pretty easily, but that's not what happened there. I just sort of lucked out. But you know what? You need a good bit of luck if you want to win Reality TV Island. That's maybe not what you come to an official walkthrough to hear, but it's totally true. You are going to need a lucky break if you really are going to win this. We finally got Black Widow the heck out of here. However, I did cut out the part where I lost that one. We're back on a new playthrough now, and this time we're playing through Hang Glider. See a lot of people here. This one is, again, I think one of the more winnable of the games. You're in a hang glider, and there are 2 things that will happen. One is that a bird will come flying in. The other is that you'll go over this volcano, and it will shoot out some lava. So all you need to do is go above or below the birds, and when the volcano comes, you want to go up over the eruption. Your character does kind of correct a lot the more dramatically you move the cursor, but in general, just stay nice and level, watch out for the birds, and you should not have too hard of a time coming in first in this one. Let's move on to a game called Turtle Shell Toss. In this game, there are 2 floating shells in the water. The larger one that is closer is worth 10 points if you can throw your coconut into it, and the smaller one that's further away is worth 20 points. So you throw it by setting the trajectory of your coconut. You set the direction by moving the mouse up and down, and then move the arrow in and out to set the strength of your throw. The way to win this game really is to make a few throws into the 20-point shell. It's hard to do, but you kind of need to in order to win. You see me, I'm just making some safe throws here into the 10-point one, which is fine, but ultimately what happens is I get into this tie-breaking round, and again, going for the safe throw keeps me in the game, but ultimately if I throw it in the 10 and my opponent throws it in the 20, I'm going to lose, and that is what happens here. So I actually lost that game, but now you know how to win it. Then on to Coconut Catch, a game that is practically impossible to win when you have this many people in it. It's a lot easier if there are fewer people in it. What's happening here is there's a monkey in the tree who is throwing coconuts and bombs from the tree. They all sail in kind of an arc, and what you want to try to do is jump up and catch them. The first person to get 20 coconuts wins this event. Some coconuts are thrown in bunches of threes, and you definitely want to prioritize those above the others. And if you hit the bomb, you get knocked down, and you can keep playing, but it keeps you out a little bit and allows other people to keep going after coconuts. This is another game that is, I think, a challenge. I'm not sure if I've ever won it, although I've definitely found that patience is a better way to go than just running around all over the place, despite what you see my character doing here. There's a way that the coconuts kind of hang in the air, and if you jump too soon, you'll start falling at the same time they do. You really want to get that timing down exactly and focus on those groups of threes, and that'll be how you can really win this. Although, again, as you can see, I'm not even really in the hunt here. I'm spoiler alert, I don't win this round. Again, it's good to get this one either way at the beginning or way at the end, because way at the beginning, again, those odds are in your favor that you're not going to get voted off. Get it way at the end, it's a lot easier to beat one or two other people because there's only so much any of you can do. Here it's just such a mob, it's frankly giving me anxiety. I hope that somebody wins soon. I thought that would never end. However, the crying characters accurately reflect my emotional state at this moment in time. Alright, so voting, again, this will show some voting, why not? Once again, you see, even though I did just a catastrophic job of catching coconuts, I easily stay in the game. And Black Widow, I think, is following me around. I think she's stalking me, and this is actually looking pretty dangerous. We've got 3 people voting against me. I think it's a conspiracy. Okay. Yeah, see? Never get voted off after day 1. Never. Now we are rapidly running out of events that I can lose at, although the next one coming up here is one of the ones I seem to lose at every single time. This is Totem Hop. The way this game works is that one by one these totems start to shake and then fall and then new ones pop up. So you just click to a new place to jump to until everybody except one person falls off. I don't know if there's a strategy here. I don't know if skill really helps. I find it nearly impossible, and I usually topple right into the water. So there's your walkthrough. That's the expert inside advice is, I don't know. Just hope not to get voted off. Now, using the magic of video editing, we will speed up the clip so we can get right to the part where Brett Batter is bid adieu, and then we will move on to the next challenge. Shot put is a little challenging only because you get one shot at it. So you click to select the angle of your shot, and then again to select the power. You want it at a 45-degree angle, and you want the power meter full. When that doesn't happen, you get what just happened there. And that was actually the best take that I got of that event the whole time. Next is an event called Pole Climb. Your character will automatically start climbing upward. You need to click to the right or to the left of your character in order to make them jump to another pole. The reason you need to do that is because of these coconuts that are dropping down the poles that will temporarily stun you. So you just need to avoid them and be the first to come to the top. Now you can get hit once or twice and still win probably. One thing that I find that helps is that they rarely, if ever, come down the same pole twice in a row, so if you jump to a pole that a coconut has just gone down, you're probably set up for at least one more. But you do need to keep moving. You really can't stay in the same place. If you do that, you'll be the first one to the top and you'll get the immunity idol. One last event, balanced diet. You need to keep your pole upright as more and more weight is added to it. The way you do this is by looking at this white plate in the middle. You'll just move your cursor the opposite direction of that brown dot that moves back and forth. This is something you can really only do by feel, it's pretty hard. All I can say is don't overcompensate for when it moves, and if you're lucky, as just happened there, your opponent will drop theirs very, very early. So this is it. That was the end. After only like 8 tries, I got through Reality TV Island and managed to show you all 14 of the games I competed in. So come back to Main Street, talk to the gentleman with the sunglasses. There it is, your Reality TV Island medallion. Remember, Reality TV Island is free for everybody to play on Poptropica, and if you complete it this month only, you'll get bonus credits. So head on over to poptropica.com now to give it a try. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and thanks for playing Poptropica.